In today's video, we'll be talking about artificial intelligence, specifically an introduction to artificial intelligence. And the key aspects we'll be looking at with five main categories and five main terms within AI that you ought to know. So these five main concepts are important for our other courses that we'll be going through further down the line. So let's begin. So what is AI? Artificial intelligence is the ability of machines or computers to think and learn in a way that mimics human intelligence. So that's the official definition. One way of looking at it is that AI is essentially some code where you give it data, and as it goes through that data, it works out patterns. And as it works out those patterns, it uses those patterns to solve all the problems that it's not seen in the past. So that's what AI does. And it's no different from humans, how humans work out the best way to drive to a place, for instance. If you've driven through that area 5 times and you see that there's always this hold up at this particular spot, that's a pattern that you've detected. You can avoid that spot next time. And that's the same thing with AI. It's no more complicated than that. It's just a system that tries to learn and identify patterns in order to be able to make predictions down the line or make decisions down the line. Now, what knowledge does AI have? The fact is, from the beginning, AI has no knowledge whatsoever. It just has data and some algorithms that it will use to parse that data. So as it's parsing that data, it starts to learn, and it learns by trial and error. So it will try an initial combination of that data and algorithm. If it detects that that's an answer, then it saves it, it's done. If not, it tries again. It keeps optimizing and keeps changing different numbers within the algorithm in order to get to the answer that it requires. Now, good data determines good AI, and a lot of data determines good AI. So as it's munching through the huge amounts of data and trying to detect those patterns, if that data isn't good, then the bad aspects of that data would be reflected in the decisions that it makes and in the patterns that it discovers. You've probably heard the term large language model. The model, in a sense, is like a cookbook for AI. So AI does the training, as I've said, it does that training by trial and error. And as it's training, it keeps a collection of those recipes so that in the future it's able to use that information to make predictions and decisions. So this information is what helps any AI system to make a prediction of, for instance, in real estate, what the value of a property would be in 2 years. It's doing that based on 50 odd years of previous information that it's been fed and it's learned from. And that's the same with any model. Now, there are different ways of training AI, but at a high level, it's just getting trained in order to build that recipe cookbook from which it will make predictions, make decisions, or help answer whatever questions you throw at it after the training. Now, in terms of prompting, the prompt is essentially your way of getting AI to do what you want it to do. So if a model is a cookbook, the prompt is how you get AI to deliver the ingredients. So the key aspects of prompting that you must be aware of is, because AI learns a vast amount of information and it could come from any part of this world and any part of the internet, using a prompt, you'd have to try and use that prompt to get the AI to provide you an answer from a particular part of its brain. So as an example, if you got AI to analyze all the foods in the world and it built its model on that basis, when you come along and you ask it a question, you'd expect AI to provide you an answer in a really quickly. But the key thing is, because it's learned all the food in the world, it can start answering that question from any part of its brain. Your prompt is there to give it context. So if you tell it, I want to know about foods from India, then it will look at the part of its brain where it's stored all the information and the recipes to do with Indian food, and then provide you an answer from that part of its brain. And that's how you get the prompt to be more accurate and the prompt to provide more relevant information. So it's very important that you understand the different ways of prompting and different techniques. But we're moving to a world where you may not even need to create your own prompts yourself. If we look at this prompt library from Anthropic, there are so many different prompts that you can select from, and there are many resources online that provide different prompts. So, as an example, you've got here CSV Converter, second grade simplifier. What's that? Make complex text easy for young learners to understand. So, you see, tongue twister, riddle me this. There are many prompts for you to look at. What's this one here? Airport code analyst. So find and extract airport codes from text. So these are prompts that Anthropic has already created, and it's available for you to use. And the great thing is the prompts can be used with any model or any chatbot. So you can take this prompt and use it with ChatGPT, albeit this has been created by the team that developed Claude, but you can use it with any model. You can also use it with Llama 3. So I think the world is going in this direction, because in order to get decent information out of any large language model, you do need to have really good prompting, and very simple prompting doesn't always work, but there are different techniques that you can adopt in order to make the most of it. So if this is something you're interested in, just leave a comment on this video, and I'll cover the key prompting techniques that you can use in order to make the most or get the most out of your chatbot or your large language model. So the next one is parameters. The reason this makes it to the 5 key concepts that you must know is that a lot of models are being released now, and there's a huge competition in the models market. And what they tend to use is the size and the number of parameters that the model has been trained on. So what is a parameter? A parameter is the value that AI tweaks in order to do its trial and error exercise. So the first time it tries to check whether it's got the correct answer to a question that's been asked, it will use a certain combination of numbers. If that answer is incorrect, it goes back and adjusts those numbers and then tries again. So it keeps trying those numerical queries and numerical calculations until it gets the right answer. So those numbers that it tweaks are the parameters, or in other words, they are weights. So a model that has several hundred billion parameters ought to be better than a model that only has 10 million. So that's why this parameter is important, because you are going to hear of more models being released by different organizations with the brag of the number of parameters that the model was trained on. And as the training techniques improve, it may no longer be as important or as crucial to have a huge number of parameters. But if we have a look at Hugging Face, you can see there are 633,000 different models. And you've only probably heard of the GPT-4 and GPT-3, Llama and Claude. But there are many others. There are many open source ones that you can pick from. So this Llama 3 8B, so that's 8 billion parameters. But that's just to give you an example of where the parameter term is used. So this Hugging Face is a good website. That it's an open source website that handles the AI models, and you're able to come on here and connect and set up different environments in order to test the different types of models, and you can discover new ones on here as well. So that's it for parameters. We are Autoread.ai, and we're going through a phase now of additional training and increased training. Today is day 81 in the 100-day series. So feel free to go back on the website, on YouTube, on our channel, and have a look at some other training that we've released. And I hope to see you tomorrow as we continue this series. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. Keep winning.